today's class. So today we are going to learn about sampling theory. So for understanding sampling theory, at first we have to understand about population. So in statistics, the total or aggregate of statistical information on a particular character of all the members in an investigation is called a population. Now on the basis of size, population is divided into two parts, that is finite and infinite. So for understanding size, at first we have to understand what is sample, then we are going to understand about size. So sample is a part of any population selected from it with the purpose of investigation. The properties of this population is called sample. So for example, or for assumption, we are going to choose this as population and let this be the sample. Now the number of members of the sample selected from a population is known as size of the sample. So these are the members of the sample and the number is called the size of the sample. So if the number is finite, then this will be finite, and if the number is infinite, then that will be infinite. So for finite, there is one example given here, marks obtained by class 7 students. So the number of class 7 students is finite. So the marks obtained by them is also finite. And in case of infinite, one example is given here, population of measuring the pressure at various points in the atmosphere. So the number of points in an atmosphere is, yes, infinite. So the pressure at that infinite number of points is also, yes, infinite. Again, population is divided into two parts or two types. One is existent, another one is hypothetical. Existent means that one kind of population that exists in real life. So for example, population of income of all persons in a village. And another one is hypothetical, that means which one is imaginary, that does not exist in real life. So for example, population of all possible outcomes arising out of throws of a die. Now what is sampling? Sampling is actually the process of selection of sample with a view to get information about the whole population. Now there are two rules so that we can choose a sample properly from a population. So the first rule is law of statistical regularity. So what does it state? It states that a sample of reasonably selected at random from a population is almost sure to represent the characteristic of the population. So let us assume that this is a population. Now this is sample number 1, say S1, and this is sample number 2, say S2. If it represents the characteristic of the population far more better than S2, then it will be chosen as the sample. The second one is law of inertia of large numbers. So it states that a sample of large size drawn from a population shows high degree of stability. That means the accuracy will be more. That is, a large sample is expected to be very close to the characteristic of the population from which the sample is drawn. Now what is sampling unit? From the same population, different samples may be drawn to investigate different purposes. Suppose this is chosen to identify the average or the statistic of a population in a particular area. And this is chosen to find the average of income of a particular area. That means for different purposes. Each of such divisions into which a population is divided from sampling process is called sampling unit. Now what is master sample? A sample drawn from a population for the use of each occasion is called a master sample. Suppose this sample is chosen so that 3 purposes can be solved, and this can solve only one purpose and this can solve 2 purposes. So here what will be the master sample? Obviously S1. Now what is sample error? That means there will be obviously some very minute or major error in a sample. The reasons may be sometimes it is impossible to collect the sample from a population in a proper way or may not be studied in a proper way. So the difference between actual population characters, that means the error, is called bias. Now what is subjective and objective sampling? The subjective sampling is the sampling if it fully depends on the personal judgment of the sampler, and objective sampling is a type of sampling if it is generated by some definite principles and not on personal desire of the sampler. So that's it for today. We are going to meet in the next class. Till then, bye.